Well, hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads with you today. We're out in the Ozarks. We're on an adventure. We're trying to find a couple of springs along the Current River. We're just below Van Buren, Missouri, about 15 miles, maybe 20 miles downriver. I'm out in the government woods. I brought the Tiger with me today. The going can get pretty rough when you get along the rivers and creeks here in the Ozarks. So I brought the Tiger out and we're going to try to find these two springs. I found them on a map. I've never been there before, but they look pretty interesting. The satellite view looks real good. Two big springs that run off into the Current River. So stick around, we'll take a ride on the Tiger and we'll see if we can find the twin springs here below Van Buren, Missouri. So it can get pretty rough down here. I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't get rough. Hopefully we'll make it through. I see they've had a road grader on this road, so maybe they're taking care of them. They tend to take pretty good care of their forestry roads, most of them. The log trucks stay off of them. They're usually pretty decent. So I brought the Tiger with me today. It's got a little, it's a little more rough ready than the V-Strom is. Got better suspension and 21-inch front wheel. It just does a little better. Man, this just keeps going down. Yeah, I'm hoping there's no creek crossings that have to go through the creek. They shouldn't be too bad though. The creeks are pretty low right now. We're into the first week of August. This is the time of year, August, into July, into August, September. You can get out and access places that you have to cross water on. Maybe you can't get across other times of the year. This is a good time to do it. Spring, you can forget about it. If you got to cross creeks in the spring, you're probably not going to be able to. And we're having a week of beautiful weather. Our heat wave is big heat dome is broken down. We've got some cooler weather, cooler air that's moved in for a few days. So now is the time to get out and do a little exploration. I did take a trip over to Jasper, Arkansas, and rode around in the mountains down there in northwest Arkansas last week, and we just about died. I went with a friend and we camped a couple of nights, and oh my gosh, it was miserable. It was hot, the humidity was off the charts, and it's pretty rough. The old camp fan, the little fan that I carry with me, it saved my bacon on that trip. Well, according to the map, there the road goes that way right there. We're going to have to take a moment here and see if we can find an alternate route, because I ain't going through that. That ain't no road. Sometimes Google will do that to you. All right, we can go on up this way. Come around here, we can get back on our route. I made this map at, I don't know, 12:30 at night after a big day. Big old long route. So that may be my fault there. I may have followed a goat trail and didn't realize it. We'll see if we can get through this way. I thought I followed all them out. Went over all them on the satellite and made sure they ran through, but I missed that one pretty bad. Imagine that. I think this is our road here. If we go right, hopefully this runs through. It's going to be gravel and creek gravel down here. Deep gravel. We need to get off this creek, I can tell you that. This ain't too much fun. And we do have bridges instead of just having to go through the creek. That's something. Ah, if I had water, it'd be perfect. All right, the road's going back up here. That's a good thing. We'll get out of this gravel. Look at here, we got grass in the road. You know my theory on grass in the road. If you're on a road with grass in the middle of it, you're on the right road. So we are A-okay here. Boy, this is just a beautiful area. Rugged as all get out, but it's beautiful. Let's see how much farther we got to go here. Oh, okay, the river's right over here. We're coming up to the springs up here. Okay, I think we're going to make our destination here unless something really bad goes wrong. Now we got another bridge here. Stagnant water. I bet a man could find a mosquito in here. Okay, I think this is them right up here. Yeah, full of watercress. Looks like the spring's actually over here. Believe it is. Right there's a spring. That's full of watercress. We've made it to the Twin Springs. We got the output of the first spring right here. It's running through a tin horn underneath the road. Runs out into a little spring creek and starts making its way towards the river. So this spring's actually on this side of the road over here against the bluff. But back in here against this bluff, we got a spring coming out. Here's another area back in here where the spring comes out of the bottom of this little bluff. So this makes up the first spring all down through here. And anytime you see that watercress, well, you know you're in a spring. The second spring is back off over this way. We can't see it from here, but I'll try to get the drone over it and kind of fly up into the edge of the woods. It's actually up in the edge of the woods there just a little bit. But those two join together, and then the creek heads, the little spring creek heads towards the current river over here. Better put her in off-road mode. I bet we got a hill or two to get out of here on. Man, we are out in the middle of nowhere. Just wilderness as far as I could see on that drone. We're gonna continue on. We're gonna make a circle back and see if we can get back towards civilization. Hopefully I did a little better on my route here, planning, than I did on the way down. We'll just have to see how it works out. All right, we're going up. I like up. Man, this road, they've just really worked on it. This is beautiful. You don't get them like this very often, especially when you're along the river. This is extra special. You got to like farm living really good to live out this far in the middle of nowhere. It's a long ways to town. It's a good 20 miles to the nearest place to buy a gallon of milk or a gallon of gas from here. You need to be pretty independent to enjoy that kind of life. You're not going to run to Domino's on a whim in the evening, get you pizza. Well, I could have brought the V-Strom today. I haven't run into anything that was, knock on wood, so far I've not run into anything. Here's a little spring coming out of the woods there into the ditch. Had some water moving, a little bit of watercress on that. We got springs everywhere. Water just boils up out of the ground. You get down on these rivers, there's just as much or more water coming into these river systems from underground than there is on top of the ground. Actually, I think there's probably quite a bit more going underground than on top of the ground, especially when it's dry like it is now. About all the input into these rivers is just springs. There's nothing on top of the ground, hadn't rained in forever. Oh, we've made it back to Sea Highway already. We're gonna go down Sea Highway. So this little highway here kind of runs right through the center of this section of forest, north to south. And it runs all the way from Winona down to, or east of Winona, all the way down to 160. Long ways, probably 30 miles, 25 miles through this section of wilderness. Well, folks, I appreciate you hanging out with me, taking a ride over to the Twin Springs on the Current River, south of Van Buren, Missouri. First time I'd ever been there. I just found them on a map and wanted to see them. Hopefully our drone footage will turn out and it'll look pretty cool. We're gonna head on down the highway here and see if we can find some groceries to put in our neck. I invite you all to come back and see me. We'll go somewhere and do something else. Till I catch up with you again, y'all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time.